So in the previous two videos, we saw case 1 wherein we are starting with a favorable debit balance as per the cash book. Now in today's video, we are going to see the case wherein we are going to start with a favorable passbook balance. So when the starting balance is favorable as per the passbook. Now in this case, we are going to be starting our bank reconciliation statement with our passbook balance. So let's not waste any more time and get into the computation. So here I have created the pro forma in the books of Dinesh bank reconciliation statement as on 31st March 2015. On 31st March 2015, bank statement of Dinesh showed a credit balance of rupees 15,650, whereas the cash book balance showed a debit balance of 15,200. Okay, so that means in this case both my passbook balance is favorable and my cash book balance is also favorable. But there is a difference about 450 rupees. Now the reasons for differences are given as below. In this case, we are going to start with our passbook. So I will write down my passbook balance. Credit 15,650. So I will write it in my plus column. 15,650. Here all my add transactions will come. And here I'll write my less transactions. So let's read the question. Checks issued to Rohan for rupees 6,000 and Daniel for rupees 3,800 were not presented for payment. Okay. So this is a case wherein checks have been issued but they have not yet been presented for payment. And we are starting with our passbook balance. So what does that mean? Now, in our cash book balance, we have deducted this 6,000 plus 3,840. 9,840 we have deducted from our cash book balance, saying that we have issued the check. But these checks have not yet been presented to the bank. So that means this 9,840 has not been deducted from our bank account. So our passbook balance is more and our cash book balance is less, and we are starting with our passbook balance, so we have to make adjustments to our passbook balance only. So what can we do to adjust? We will reduce our passbook balance, so we will subtract this amount. See, now we are starting from our passbook and we have to come to our cash book. So whatever adjustments we will make it in our passbook balance. These checks in our cash book have been deducted, but in the passbook what has happened? The bank has not yet received these checks, so that amount has not been credited. So that amount has not been debited from the account. So to make it balanced, we have to reduce. We have to deduct the 9,000 from the passbook. Checks issued to Roshan and Daniel not presented for payment. Roshan is 6,000 rupees and Daniel is 3,840. So 9,840 rupees. Now we are going to be thinking from the perspective of the passbook. Earlier we were seeing from the perspective of the cash book. Okay. Now bank has charged 350 rupees for bank charges. Okay. Now bank charges have been charged by the bank. In our passbook this amount has been deducted. But in our cash book this amount didn't get deducted, right? So our cash book is 350 rupees more than our passbook. We are now considering the passbook as the starting point. So all adjustments will be made to the passbook balance. This is my passbook, this is my cash book. In my passbook 350 rupees got deducted. But my cash book still has that 350. It has not yet been deducted. Now if I want to equalize the two, I have to add 350 to my passbook. See, this is just the reverse of the case 1. In case 1, if we were starting with our cash book, we would have deducted. But since we are starting with our passbook, we are going to add it back. Bank charges. 350. Okay, now let's see the next transaction. Nitish directly deposited 8,000 in the bank account of the trader, which was not entered in the cash book. Okay, so that means my passbook is 8,160 rupees more than my cash book. If I want to equalize the two, I have to deduct 8,160. We are only, again I'm repeating, we are considering the perspective of the passbook. So all transactions will be recorded from that perspective. 8,160 was directly deposited in the passbook and this has not been entered in the cash book. So clearly my passbook balance is more than my cash book and we know that whatever adjustment I have to make to this passbook balance only. If I want to equalize, what do? I will just reduce the amount. So rupees 8,160 I will deduct. Check directly deposited in bank. 8,140. 140 only. Okay, cut this. 8,160. Now let's see the next transaction. This is done. Two checks, one from Shyam for 5,150 and another from Kailash for 12,500 were collected by the bank in the first week of April, although they were banked on 25th March 2015. Okay, so now these two checks 5,150 and 12,500 in my cash book I have recorded it on 25th March 2015 that I have received the money, but these checks were actually encashed in the month of April. In my passbook these figures reflected only in the month of April. So what does that mean? That means my passbook is lesser and my cash book is more. If I want to equalize it, I just have to add. Okay, remember, since whosoever point of view we are starting, whether it is from cash book or passbook, if we are starting from cash book, so remember, if we are starting with the cash book, all adjustments that we make in the reconciliation will be from the cash book's point of view. And if we are starting with the passbook, all reconciliations will be from the point of view of the passbook. Remember this. In this case, what happened? Our cash book balance is more than our passbook. So if I need to equalize the two, I have to add the amount to my passbook. I will add checks deposited but not yet cleared. Shyam 5150. Checks to Kailash is 12,500. So my total will be 17,650. Okay. Let's go to the next transaction. Now interest credited by bank rupees 450. This I will deduct. Why? My passbook balance is more by 450 rupees and my cash book balance is less. This interest credited has not been recorded in my cash book. So that means my passbook balance is more than my cash book balance. And if I want to equalize the two, I will deduct 450. Are you getting a hang of this? Interest credited 450. So now all the transactions have been recorded. Let's find out our balance as per the cash book. After all this addition, subtraction, I should get the figure that they have mentioned in the question. Balance as per cash book. It should be a debit balance. Okay. Okay, now let's calculate the total. 15,650 plus 350 plus 17,650 minus 9,840 minus 8160 minus 450 gives me 15,200. And what's the balance in the question? Debit balance of 15,200. Okay, so now I have got that. I'll write it down. 15,200. So if you have realized case 2 computation is just the opposite of case 1 computation. You don't need to get confused, Baba. You just see from where are we starting? Are we starting with the cash book or are we starting with the passbook? And if we are starting with cash book, adjust all the transactions and the reconciliations keeping in mind the cash book, and similarly for passbook. Just a little bit of common sense and logical reasoning with a lot of practice, you will sail through BRS. So that's all for this video. See you in the next one.